Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Planet Zoo, or at least some news about Planet Zoo. Obviously we still don't have the game just yet, but we are dissecting every little shred of stuff that Frontier gives us. So if you are new here, make sure you click subscribe, because every single bit of Planet Zoo news does get covered on the channel here, and of course we're going to be diving into the game hardcore when it comes out later this year. So today we have a new screenshot, and this really reminds me of the kind of screenshots that we got for the Planet Coaster lead up, the launch of Planet Coaster, and what we're really looking at here is the one thing that they mention in the tweet, but then there's so much other stuff that we can really sort of dissect and look at here as well. So the tweet was talking about how the buildings are going to be done by piece, which again we already know about, it's already been confirmed, but there's some really nice little bits of detail here that we're going to be able to dive into and get some fun information. So first of all, I'm going to start with all the other little bits that I've noticed before we talk about the main thing that we're looking at today, really, which is the piece building and the stores as well that we can see in front of us there, being a pit shop and a pizza pen. But there's a few other things. First of all, we have a member of staff down here that is a new member of staff that we haven't seen before. This, to me, suggests mechanic. I'm pretty sure. We have seen from a screenshot shown at the E3 footage that mechanics are going to be a class of staff that we have, and I'm pretty sure, looking at the sort of tool belt, the toolbox, I can see there that that's what we're looking at. And I'm also going to speculate here, I think that's a female model as well, just kind of how it carries itself a little bit. I really don't know, to be honest, because we are just looking at the rear, but to me personally that looks like a female character. Planet Coaster has a single model for each member of staff. So the janitor is an old guy with a mustache, the mechanic is another old guy with a mustache. Actually, they have a think about old guys with mustaches, but they have confirmed that staff are going to be either gender in this game. So I personally think that's a female mechanic there. She's walking behind stage here, and again we can see some of the piece by piece building here with these logs. This upsets me a little bit here. You can see the line where two pieces join on these logs there. One thing that Planet Coaster does really well is a lot of the pieces, there are some that do this, but a lot of the pieces blend really well together when you build them out in multiple shapes. So I'm really kind of hoping that this sort of thing gets looked at, because with that personally I think that's a little sloppy there. Hopefully they'll be able to sort that out and make it a bit more smooth. Moving across then to really pretty much the other side of the park, we can see some really interesting tribal kind of wall pieces here. These look gorgeous. Can't wait to get my hands on these and start building with them and placing them around. I think they look really good. One of my favourite themes for parks is this sort of African tribal theme. I love places like Animal Kingdom and Busch Gardens that have that sort of heavy theme, and even down to like some of the restaurants at Animal Kingdom like Sonar and stuff. I think they're gorgeous to look around. Also, there's a door here. Interesting to know whether that's a working door or not. In Planet Coaster there are lots of doors that aren't working. They're just there for show, and that to me looks like it's going to be one of those. So we'll see whether or not we can place down working doors like that. Moving across, there is an animal there, very blurred out. At first glance, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was an elephant. I thought it was a baby elephant, but those legs are really quite thin and long, and I'm actually thinking now that it's not an elephant looking at us, it's a camel looking side on. That to me looks like a hump there, with its head maybe coming up behind the tree. Again, massive speculation. I'm guessing we'll see what it is later this week, maybe. That's usually how these go. They kind of tease them a little bit, and then later in the week we get them. There was another tease, actually, that I didn't cover. They did a really, really lovely Planet Zoo logo with loads of different animal skins behind it, animal hides behind it, and there was a couple of hides in there that didn't necessarily correlate to any of the animals that have already been announced. There was one that looks very much like a hyena. There was another sort of scaly one that didn't look like the crocodile. I forget what people reckoned it was now, but yeah, I definitely think we're heading towards some more animal reveals. It's pretty neat. And then moving over to here, we have these really gorgeous sort of painted flower murals. Now originally I thought this was just one big piece, a big wall with a painted mural on it, but looking at it I actually think that the pieces to an extent are separate. If you look at the top here, these sort of palm kind of fern looking shapes, I think they're two separate ones. and I think it's the same piece actually repeated and just rotated. And I think these red flowers, those 2 red flowers, is a single piece that again has been sort of rotated and placed a little bit lower down here. Really excited to get my hands on these. These look gorgeous, really nice design. And one thing that Planet Coaster didn't have too much of, to be honest with you, and still doesn't really, even after DLCs, are murals and wall coverings and things like that. So these sort of things are really great to see, and I hope to see a lot of them as we go further into development. But the main thing we're really looking at here today are these stores, and any Planet Coaster player will recognise Pizza Pen and Pipshot here has 2 of the Planet Coaster themes, Planet Coaster brands, or I guess what we're now just calling Planet brands, because the whole idea with Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo is they are the same universe and they share certain things from one to the other, both sort of thematically but also from a gameplay point of view as well. Now, I have absolutely no problem with them taking the food stores from Planco and placing them into Planet Zoo, because that's development time that can be used elsewhere, so I think it's personally a great way of doing it. There are actually loads of food options in Planet Coaster now. I'll be honest with you, a good chunk of them have come from DLC, so I wouldn't expect this many in Planet Zoo when it launches, but you can see here an array of food stores. There are also drinks vendors as well. There's about 6 or 7 drinks vendors, I think. Again, some of these have come with CLCs, some of them have come with free updates. There's also a selection of other buildings as well that work in the same way. There's first aid, staff room, and hotels, restaurants. A lot of those came with later on in the development of the game as well. And then some other little random ones like Vista Points, where you can tell guests to go and see things, although I don't see that being in Planet Zoo because it looks like they've managed to get guests being able to see stuff from paths. Anyway, a lot of this stuff may well come to Planet Zoo, it may well not, but giving you a rough, quick show of how these buildings work in Planet Coaster, and from the looks of things, I'm going to say this is how they work in Planet Zoo as well, is all of the shops come as a cube, just a plain cube that has just the interior of it. The exterior is blank. I think that's what we're going to see here. Looks like they did tell us that that's what the staff rooms are going to be like as well. They're going to be blank exteriors that we can build on top of, and here you can place down wall pieces, scenery pieces. A very simple one I've done there just to kind of show you how they fit together. That is pretty much, I think, exactly how we're going to be building in Planet Zoo. So I would strongly recommend, if you want to try and get a bit of a head start with the building technique and you are not a Planet Coaster player, pick it up. I know it's recently been cheap in the summer sale. Whether it still is, I don't know. You can check in my description of this video. There'll be an instant gaming link. They often have keys for it over there at a discounted price as well, and you're helping out the channel as well, which is a nice bonus for me, not necessarily for you. But yeah, that's I'm pretty sure how we're going to be getting stores in the game, so that's nice to be able to really sort of see them there open. But I'm really excited to see more. Oh, looks like we've got glass up the top here as well. I forgot to mention that. Glass did not come in the base game of Planet Coaster, and it was desperately asked for, and eventually we started to get a few glass pieces, and eventually we got glass panes. Whether or not these are actually glass, I think they are. Looking here on the thatch, it does look like there's a little bit of refraction there, as opposed to them just being sort of plain mesh. So nice to see that as well. They're a really nice piece, actually. I look forward to using that sort of stuff there to make rooftops. That's really quite great looking, and a nice bench down here as well. New bench that I've not seen before as well. Oh, there's just loads of stuff. I love dissecting these pictures, and I hope you enjoy listening to me dissect these pictures. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, give us a like. It really does help. And of course, like I said before, if you are new here, we are going to be covering Planet Zoo so hard this year. It's crazy, so make sure you click subscribe. Thank you to all of our patrons. They make these videos possible through their incredible support at patreon.com/geekism. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.